Monday morning, DJ. Yeah, I was just telling DJ off here. I'm kind of dragging my ass a little bit today. I got to be honest with you.
That's
Having
okay. I
a
got a different change of scenery, so we're almost out
yeah,
today.
you're a little pixelated. I don't know what happened just there. Maybe when we went live, the bandwidth
Uh-oh.
started chewing up. It's okay. It's okay. You're
Could be,
good. You're
could
okay,
be.
brother. Yeah. So Mayhem Monday, brother. With all the chaos and everything that happened on Friday, I never actually got an event out. So hopefully everybody.
So,
Good
yeah,
morning,
sorry, y'all.
Lisa.
Oh,
Oh, look at that must be mobile. Look at this. Look at this coming in. Look at
wow.
this. Everybody's
Yeah.
coming in this morning. So we've got a victory for Lisa again this morning. And Ryan comes in second. And Richard comes in third. And Jeff comes in fourth. And
Yes. Good morning, y'all.
Lisa
I
actually
can't.
gangstered it. She gave one from Facebook and then another one from LinkedIn.
She's overachiever. That Lisa. She's an overachiever. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
I would be.
so hey,
I would be
listen.
doing the same thing. I would be coming in from everywhere I could if I was
Four
doing the
different
show. So.
browsers open, four different
Oh
social platforms.
yeah. Let me see how many.
Yeah. Copy paste, send. Copy paste, send. Yeah. Monday, brother. Monday, a new week, a new canvas to be painted, a new
That's right.
Picasso to turn out. Big week this week. We got quite a few things happening this week. It's going to be the guests this week are going to be cool. We start the lane of the day today. So our good friends at
Yes.
our good master wizard of data, Dean Crook, and his friends at DAT
It's crystal ball, guys.
have allowed us to. We're going to do every day. We've started a quick segment. I mean, some days I guess we might get into a little bit more conversation about it, but every day we're going to give a quick segment on kind of the lane that's popping for y'all. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of insight if you're doing that lane. We got a little bit of background on it, a little month to month, year over year. Quick. Well, for me it's not quick, but for Dean it would probably take him 2 seconds. But we'll do our best to keep the master of data, Dean, happy here. So you ready, DJ? Oh, actually,
Yeah.
you know what? Oh, look at this. We went all the way in and we never
Without the
really
intro.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
You know, you're gonna have to call me out on this, brother. I didn't even have like a whole big tagline statement or punch statement for today. I didn't do any of the kind of radio broadcasting
Listen,
situations that I
you
should
had a
have.
long weekend. It looks like I'm giving you grace.
You had a long weekend. It looks like. What are you saying? I look beat up or what? Like, thanks, brother. I appreciate it too. I love you, man. Yeah, I love you too.
You're lacking energy this morning. Come on, man.
Richard says, made it to the podium. Yes, sir. Woohoo. Bronze is
Yeah.
good. Bronze is good, brother. Richard, I actually owe you a bunch of stuff, and I apologize. I hope
Yes.
DJ, did you talk to Rich on Friday and apologize for me?
No,
No,
actually, I
okay.
apologize for that too. So we're apologizing left and right.
Jeez, it's one of those apologizing days today. All right, you ready, brother? Because we are talking Mayhem Monday. Let's
Let's
take
do
the
it.
topic live on air and ready?
Right there. Oh, I think you skipped the one that we were waiting for.
What's that?
No, nothing. I was joking. I said I think you skipped the one we were waiting for.
No. Well, let's see, because the one before that, if I didn't stop in time, I mean, this one's good. This one's good.
I like it.
I mean, I think we could do either one of them. So one is don't think commissions, and one is be something other than a salesperson. Now I'm wondering if we've done that one before, but
Ooh.
no, we haven't. So I'll let you. So because it was kind of a toss up, I'll let you pick. So don't think commissions or be something other than a salesperson.
I think we talk commission a lot. Let's do the don't be a salesperson. I like that
be
one.
something other than a salesperson.
Yes,
Perfect.
be something other. Anything other.
So this one was this one I kind of fell on, and and a lot of you, if you're in Inception, you've heard this story where I was dealing with a company called Enersys, and they're a big battery manufacturer. They have all the Bulldog batteries in forklifts and stuff. Like they're huge in the forklift industry. And I remember going in and speaking with this traffic manager, and when we left, she had said, "Okay, so let's give me some numbers, and then let's meet again next week." And I said, okay. I said, do you want to just talk about the numbers? She goes, no, just get me the numbers and we'll meet again next week. I said, okay. So I went back, did all the numbers. The next week we came in and she like literally put a package down in front of me. And she said, okay, here's lanes I want you to start with. And da-da-da. And I'd never experienced anything like that in my sales career. I'm not like,
Yeah.
Never do you go in for one meeting. I mean, it was a good meeting, don't get me wrong, but it was like, we got awarded all this business right next. And I said, if you don't mind me asking, this is one of the things where some salespeople would be like, what? Like, I'm
Yeah.
always curious. I like hadn't even moved a load yet, and it backfired on me with Mr. Safety Shoes. But for Enersys, it was fine. And I said, like, why did you choose me? Like, why is it that we had the one meeting? And I go, I'm not trying to talk myself out of business here, but we had the one meeting. I think that the meeting did go great. But like, we literally walked in now and you gave me all this business. Like we barely know each other. And again, this sounds crazy to a lot of salespeople.
Yeah,
Like, no, come on,
it's
let's go
almost like
take
you're.
it and run.
I love that you're telling the story though, because it's almost like you're selling yourself or selling out of it, but it's almost like one of those situations that is too good to be true. That you're like, whoa, 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 what's going on
Yeah.
here?
And if it wasn't a major corporation, I'd think I'm not getting paid. You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with your payments that you have to give me up? But it was, and I said, again, I'm not trying to like talk myself out of it here, but like, what the heck did I do or did I say? Because I said I'd love to figure it out and hone it. And she said,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's none of that." She says, "I googled you when you left." She goes, and at that point in my career, I had a website called Little Conversations Today.
yeah,
I think it's still up if anyone wants to check it
it,
out,
it is. I've seen it.
littleconversationstoday.com.
I've
Yeah,
seen
and
it.
I mean I haven't put any new videos on there in ages. So all I used to do is I used to read books. And in the books, I used to be like, okay, I kind of get that point, but I don't really. So I connected with the author. I'd find the author and I'd
I
connect him and
love
say,
it.
listen, I was reading your book. I have 6 or 7 questions. Here's my questions. Can I interview you? And then I would post it online and just share it with people. And she went through like 3.5 hours of content on this site. And she goes, you're not just a salesperson. Like you're trying to bring good things to people, to help people. And she goes, and that's the type of people I
Wow.
want to surround myself with. And it got me thinking, right? The
Holy cow.
relationship, the customer, the long-term customer. They want somebody that's not just a salesperson. Like be you, and I don't know if Ryan's on here this morning, but Ryan is a big dog lover. His mission, his goal, his big thing that he wants to do is open
Oh
up a
yeah,
dog
his passion
sanctuary.
is. Yeah,
His major passion, right? And he
yeah,
talks about that. So he connects with people on that dog side as well as the business side, right? And it started me thinking, like, I understand even like on LinkedIn, it's a business site and all this kind of stuff, but what we're strongly passionate about shows a different side of us. And if
yeah.
we're going to prospects as just like selling, 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 um, and again, like I'm not saying we have the well, I'm not just a salesperson. I like to do woodcraft too. Like it's a, I think you let the prospect find that side of you. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, I don't know. For me, it was at that point I started to become something other than just a salesperson when I walked in. I
Well,
started to reference things. I started to post about different things. Go.
I was just gonna say, I think your story, man, if this isn't resonating to anybody else, and I can't see the comments also, Dan, so you'll have to kind of keep a focus on that. But uh, if this doesn't resonate with anybody, I mean, what you're explaining to me, Dan, is the whole idea of not going in there selling just features, benefits, all of these things, but going in there more than trying to what we keep trying to tell people, finding their problems, actually being more than just whatever your the end goal and thinking. I mean, it ties right into commission, like you talked about
Mhm.
with the other thing, but it's really just that dive deeper and not seeing that person not for the position that they are or what they hold, but just that person for the person, because sometimes you might be able to help or connect, and that's probably why that lady, I guarantee you something, if you dug deeper, there's something in one of those conversations with one of those authors that really resonated with
Yes.
a battle that she was going through. or
Mm-hmm.
something that really
Mm-hmm.
tied to her and her own, because we're all on a journey. We have to remember that. I mean, we're all humans, we're all on a journey. And even in a position of a traffic manager or somebody else moving stuff, they still have other stuff outside of their work. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where but that's why we have to build that relationship and not focus on the just what we're doing for them or what specifically our services or goods. I mean, there might be something more we bring that's the big difference. And I think that's the key with this. But
Well, there's another level to it, right, DJ?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
I think we need to, as sales reps, I truly believe we need to understand that our prospects Google us. Our
yes,
prospects
yeah. And I
reach
was
out
gonna
to
go
the
there.
web and
Yeah,
they
they
try
will
and
look
see
you
who
up.
we are. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, that's what I mean by be something other than a salesperson. Like if you're just posting online going, "Hey, my company has this and we have this," and you're a salesperson,
yes,
right? Like, and
yes,
we see it all the time. Like I'm more LinkedIn than any other platform,
yeah, yeah,
but you
yeah.
see it all the time. And if you
Of
just
course,
go to
yeah,
LinkedIn and you search hashtag logistics and you scroll through the hashtag logistics tag, like a hashtag, like
yeah,
it's all our service does this, we do LTL here, we do that there. That's sales.
yeah,
That's a
yep,
salesperson. And
correct.
it's be something other than a salesperson. This is part of one of the big key functions and big five moves that I suggest to pretty much every student is post content. Like
Yes.
read an article, say how you feel about that article, give a
Your
blurb about it, share a
your
story.
opinion, yes, your opinion,
Well, and
yeah,
that's what your customers are going to find.
yeah,
Like I personally believe, and listen, don't get me wrong, I know it's a lot of work, but as a salesperson, I think you should have a website. I think every salesperson should have their own website. And even if it's a simple WordPress site that this is who I am, this is what I
okay,
believe, and this is what I do. Here's a couple of videos of me doing my stuff on the weekend. Like I'm a hiker, I'm a out. Like you look, take Joshua, for example. I don't know if Joshua, if you're listening,
yeah,
Joshua's 100-mile run has developed 10 times more traction than any of his sales. I guarantee you
yes,
he's going to get,
absolutely,
and not that he's doing it because of this, but he's going to get customers from the conversation of the 100-mile run. Because here's the thing, Joshua's talking about a 100-mile run. Everyone, when they hear 100 miles, they go, holy crap, that dedication,
yes,
right? So it's like,
exactly.
okay, we know he's dedicated. We
If
know
he's that, yeah,
he's at the top of his game. He wants to be professional. He's thanking, he's humble. He's like all of these things prospects get from what you post. And the
mm-hmm.
reality is, if you don't have a website, it's based off social media. When they Google you, typically LinkedIn is one of the first things that come up if you don't have a website or if you haven't done any SEO.
Yep,
So, like, again, most customers on this show have said your LinkedIn profile is your resume, but
yes,
keep that resume to a human because we do business with humans, not salespeople. We
yeah,
like everything revolves around that human element, and
yes,
like so. I've always said create a D5. I call it a D5, um, which is your five topics you talk about. Like for me, it's
yep,
sales training, personal development, industry news, productivity, and stickability. Those are the five subjects I will always post about. It's pretty much the five subjects that this show revolves around. It's the
yep,
five subjects that I'll only talk about, create programs for, and everything. Because that's the five things I love to talk about. So pick five things you love to talk about and start putting it out there.
yes,
It doesn't have to be, like Anthony showed us that when he came on to do the whole
yeah,
LinkedIn
yeah,
conversation. It doesn't have to be business. It's who are you as a person. Joshua's 100-mile run has nothing to do with business. It's for a charity. Like right, Trey Griggs when he was doing the Tough Mudder event,
yeah,
and he was promoting. It has nothing to do with business. It's
yeah,
like, hey, everybody has an outside, and everybody not like you're not just a salesperson. You're a person first. You're a human being first. You're a husband, a wife, a father, like what
yes.
all you know what I mean?
We're
A,
all that, yeah.
a
All your
mother, a
prospects, they're all
grandmother.
that too. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. But
Ah,
when we make a sales call or when we're prospecting, we're just a salesperson, right? We're that salesperson that is probably the 15th call today, but we're not. Does that make sense?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I lost you there for a minute. Yeah.
No, no,
So
sorry, my
Richard says
phone
it's
started
all
going
good.
crazy.
I assume that's from Richard from the We Owe You Stuff. Apologize. He said
Oh
Texas
yeah,
barbecue. Just saying. There we go. Yes, sir. Jeff says, just be yourself. Yeah. Post what you believe in what you post. Don't just post to post. I love that. If questioned, be able to converse and drive brand and image. I love that.
I
That is
love that,
awesome.
Jeff. Yes. Don't just post a post. It has to have some meaning behind it.
Yes. Now, I didn't get to a graphic today, but why don't we do this, DJ? So this is here. We're gonna break here for a second for the lane of the day, folks. So I
Hey.
put up the data day from Dean to do the lane of the day. So lane of the day, the emerging story this week is intermodal congestion at ports due to containers not being picked up and sitting around is approximately 10 days, 3 times longer than what they should be. Not enough intermodal capacity in general, as reported by JOC, and increasing import volumes. May imports up 3% month over month and 6% year over year, up 8% on the West Coast in LA and Long Beach, up 11% and 14% month over month, respectively. So that means like month over month, like 14%. That's crazy. On the benchmark lane, out of these areas to Chicago, truckloads compete heavily with intermodal spot rates, reversed the 6-month slide, increasing 1 cent per mile last week to 165 without fuel. That's still 89 cents lower than this time last year, and half of what line haul rates were 6 months ago. So even with all this congestion, we're still half of what they were 6 months ago, and 89 cents a mile lower than last year. So that tells you something, right?
Yes.
Um,
89
but the
cents.
tide is starting ahead of peak shipping season. Shippers appear to be moving volume to the cheaper truckload alternative as ramp congestions build. So this is one of the first times I've ever seen this happen, where shippers are actually moving to truckload as opposed to rail, which is
Yeah.
typically the opposite way, right? Further
Yes.
inland, Joliet and Chicago, where most intermodal trains hub, outbound truckload spot rates follow the same 4-week trend as Los Angeles, was increased by a penny per mile to $2.29 per mile last week. Loads from Chicago to the northwest intermodal hub of in Worcester, Mass, increased 11 cents a mile to the previous week to an average of $2.59 a mile after decreasing for the past 5 months. And the last one we're going to talk about is outbound spot rates in the Midwest intermodal hub in Kansas City, Kansas, increased for the 3rd week in succession by 2 cents a mile to $2.11. And that, my friends, is the lane of the day.
Yeah.
There you go.
That is awesome.
I'm on videos today, so I'm doing a lot of video creation today. So I'm super excited because I love videos. So I'm going to be creating a bunch of little different intro videos for this, and good news too. I think some of our test swag's coming in by Wednesday this week, so I'll officially be able to get your opinion on it and all that, and that should be good. So that should be awesome. So, all right,
that is exciting.
that was a break. Now we got to like weave in. So to weave back into this, DJ.
Yeah.
You were reading a book from a good friend of mine, Hal Elrod,
Oh,
on
yeah.
the weekend, and share that stat with us, because I think it's funny because at the beginning of the show, before we went live, DJ shared this stat with me, and I went, "Yeah, I forgot about that in there." I go, "But yeah, that's killer. How is it going to fit into today's show?" And
Here we
it's
go.
the usual scenario when it comes
The
to
universe leads us, my friend. The universe is
yes,
leading us.
it leads right in, and being something other than a salesperson, is actually a big key to success. Right. Some people might say, well, Dan, you know what, as a salesperson, they're successful. And I believe, yes, if you just are a salesperson, you can be successful with enough hard work, because hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. However,
I like that.
if you're that successful as just a salesperson, if you were to change to be a person, I think you'd be 50 times more successful. So,
Yes.
I think
Agreed.
we stay away from the word success. I think it's reach your potential. Right? Like,
Mm.
we all can be successful in specific ways. And if we're successful because we're doing X, Y, and Z, that might be your version of success, not somebody else's. And that's the big difference, right? Success is individual.
Yeah.
But I think
We all have our own paths, our own journeys, our own destinations.
100%. But would you, I don't know. Part of me says it's about our potential over anything. Like, we might hit a milestone or a marker in life, but is that really your cap?
Is that, yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. I mean, when you hit the top of a mountain, there's no further to go because the mountain's ended. But is there a bigger mountain? Yes.
Oh
You know, and I
man,
don't know. I guess some people might say, well, when you climb the
you're
tallest mountain, there is no
you're
bigger mountain.
you're hitting
But
me
yeah,
hard, making me want to transition to. I seen this David Goggins video about talking about a contract. This you know, his contractor list or what, I forget what term he used, but saying when he dies, what you're saying was that my potential? I want to outwork what this higher power had written for me. I want to be more than what they even had planned for me. Oh, and he says, I see, yeah, because first he says his biggest fear was going to dying and just staying working at whatever. I think he was just a janitor somewhere, 200, 300 pounds, 297. He said if he dies, he goes, sees this list that the higher power God had for him, saying, you're supposed to be 185, you're supposed to be a Marine, you're supposed to be this. Like, I could have lived that life, but what did it? And he said he didn't want that regret. But then he said, even to the extreme, and this is where he's crazy. I mean, David Goggins, if anybody hasn't heard the story, this guy is, I mean, running on broken. I mean, this is Josh. He's running on broken legs. He's doing crazy stuff. But he said he wanted to, at that point when he flipped that, and it was the regret of not living to the potential, he wanted to outwork the potential. So then it became, I want to be more. So now I see 185, I see this, but and he wants God to basically be saying, I've been writing this story as you're living it. Like you are going above and beyond what your potential was. And I think that's why we do the show. I think that's why we connect so well. We're always thinking like, this isn't enough. Okay, we got here, but I want more. Okay, I fought this far, but and I think that's why everybody who watches this show is watching as well. You're high
yeah,
achievers. We're working on ourselves constantly. We're self-aware. You're focused. But this stat was staggering from that book, and we're gonna have to have him on the show. You got to, but
yeah. I'll connect
folks,
with Hal and see if we can get something going. His book's called Miracle Morning. It's a
Miracle Morning,
fantastic
guys.
book.
Miracle
If y'all
Morning.
are if y'all are looking for a book to start your day off like on a
Uh,
high note, the Miracle Morning is the one you're going to need. So go ahead. I'll let you
Yes.
say the stat.
So this is a statistic from the book. According to Social Security Administration, if you were to take any 100 people at the start of their careers and follow them over the next 40 years, this is according to the Social Security Administration, one out of the 100 will be wealthy. Four out of the 100 will be financially secure. Five will have to continue to work because they have to, not because they want to. That's after 40 years of working in their career. 36 will be dead, and 54 will be broke and dependent on friends, family, relatives, or the government. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's an
So,
interesting stat, and it'd be interesting to get a stat like that in sales.
mm,
It really would because
yes, it really
you
would.
have like I mean call a spade, right? You have different types of people in the world. People
Yep.
that will never and can never and no matter what happens, they will just stay at their job. The old school 30, 40 years, same place, 401k, and that's it. You have certain people that will
Yep.
bounce around and never be satisfied and never find their true mission. You have certain people that don't believe there's a mission. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different groups, and it'd be interesting if there was. I want to see if I could find something like that in sales about the
Yeah.
success of salespeople and what the characteristics of successful salespeople are, because that would be an interesting read as well. Like
That would actually.
statistically, not just
Yeah, yeah,
authors'
yeah. Well, I'm
opinions. And
sure
don't get
it's
me
got to
wrong,
be
authors' opinions are awesome, but
it's got to be very close to an entrepreneur, because I mean sales, I think that's why shout out to Catherine. She mentioned this in her selling to the CEO, but 85% of CEOs are at one point salespeople, and I think that's
mhm,
why salespeople transition to that. Is, I mean, we're used to this lifestyle.
mhm,
Most sales are commission only, so you work what you make. I mean, you create. That's what 25 years ago, when I heard that magic word commission, that's what the bug that struck me, and it was stuck in my butt ever since, was, hold on. So you mean if I work an hour, if I bust my ass and work harder than everybody else and do this, like I can make more than somebody else who works an hour? Okay, I'm in. And that was it.
mhm.
And that was it.
Compound it. And there's some, I mean, sales is you're not trading your time for money,
No.
right? Like
Yeah.
if
Yes.
you and there's nothing wrong with it, but if you punch a clock, you're actually trading time for money. It's what the trade-off is. And in commission sales, it's reoccurring. A lot of the times you make money when you sleep and all that, but you got to be good. You got to add value. You got to add, something to the customer's life. It's not just a matter of
Yes.
because you're there, right? It used to, and Jeff will contest to this, you know,
Yeah.
30 years ago or 27 years ago or whatever now, since I've been in this industry, it was literally a lot of the times it was like one or two calls and you'd get business.
Mm,
Like it was a different world, brother. Like
yeah.
especially for in my area because I was selling backhauls out of the US. That was
Yeah.
like my my my
I,
my my
bread
spiel, if you will, was like, I use Canadian carriers, so we get 56% on the dollar right away. And customers are like, really? Okay, well, I don't have to use the big Schneiders, the yellows at that time, all these kind of stuff, because it was US money. So immediately it was like a 50, at one point, the best I can remember was like a 52% dollar, which was huge.
yeah.
And so, for me, it was an easy sell because for people but again, it was just a sell. It was a transaction. It wasn't a relationship, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But nowadays, like, and listen, here's the one thing I want to make. I'd love to really make sure that everyone listening now replay 10 years from now. It's not easy, like sales, especially in today's industry and today's market, the way the industry is today, it's not easy. It's not. But for the people that are not just a salesperson, it is easier. Okay. And that's a fact,
I,
is it's easier, right?
I love that you said that, because I mean, well, look, guys, let's just be call it for what it is. Life is not easy. When if your life
No,
is easy, you're probably not living to your
you're not
potential.
trying hard enough.
Uh, but 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 to your point, Dan, yeah, it's not easy. Sales is not easy. But when you are not focusing on just what you're getting and leading more with service, anything you do is going to be easier. Anything,
Mhm.
sales or
Yeah.
anything. When that
But
person or
DG,
the
I think, and again, let's
well,
call a
but a
spade a
dentist.
spade, right?
Yeah, but listen, a dentist is a salesperson. Unlike a doctor, a
For
dentist has
sure.
a private office. So if they're not thinking of that patient as a patient, really giving them and and I use dental because everybody's scared of the dentist. I mean, I'm sure everybody who hesitates when they think of going to the dentist, right? Yes, in the comments, because I guarantee you there's a lot. But that is then the power of the dent the doctor, the dentist, thinking, I'm not just a dentist. What I do for that person, how I treat that person, is not just this mouthpiece I'm working on that's not attached to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Well, your
And,
your 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 clients at a dentistry become your marketing, right?
yes.
So which they can in our neighborhood. But have you ever been cold called by a dentist?
No, no,
So
no.
so again, not quite
But
apples
yeah,
and apples, right? Like
uh,
as a salesperson, we're
yeah,
outbound calling. So
yeah,
catching somebody at a moment where they might not, you know what I mean? Like there's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
difference
yeah,
in that.
yeah,
And that's the hard part. Like that's what I mean by sales is hard. Like listen, the reality is
yeah,
once you
yeah.
connect with a prospect, like once you connect with a prospect, you'll have the conversation. It'll either work or it won't. Maybe the rates won't work. Like there's a couple of different variables that won't work. The reality is once you get the customer, it's yours to lose them, because once you stop treating them and start like a human and stop treating and focusing on their goals, and you get treated
Yeah.
like a number. Like how many of us have been with somebody, with a company, whatever, and eventually we start being treated like a number, and it's like, no, I'm done. I'm done. Like I'm not interested. And that's the problem is, and I
Mm,
can share personal experience.
yeah.
Recently with a lead generation company, I was the best friend. As soon as the credit card was billed, it was like I was a number, and I was unhappy with the service.
Mm,
4 emails to customer service, not a single reply, not one single reply. The salesperson stopped replying, and I'm not a happy customer at all. But at month end, It was like, oh man, yes, you get this happens, this, and I'm sure I've spoken about it, but this happens. You get to keep all your lists. You get to like, nothing will change, and everything changed. Put me into 9 hours worth of work to sort and figure out, because the last thing I want to do is email the same person 5 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or call
Yep.
like and there
Yeah,
was
and you
no.
want the personal connection you had before they landed the
Well,
business.
and it wasn't. And I'll tell you one thing, anyone that asks me about this company, not a chance. Stay far the hell away from them. And I'm still now 3 months in trying to get my money back. But nobody's
Wow.
emailing me back. See, that's what I'm saying, is that every one of our customers has been through a situation like this. And
Yeah.
we as the sales rep have to break through that situation. How do we do it? We become something other than a sales rep.
Mm,
Like, it's the only way.
the
How
only
do you,
way.
and people talk about
Yes.
differentiation and this and that, but it's true. Like, how are you going to differentiate yourself? Who are you? I told you all about the story about my buddy that wasn't a salesperson, but he loved baseball. Like that, he was a baseball fanatic. So what does he do? He connects with other baseball fanatics, and they have great relationships, right? Like, yeah, if people selling, knitting lessons can serve a huge audience and make a lot of money doing it, there's just that little carve out that market for you based on who you are.
And I think, just to tie your point, Dan, I think you bring in a great point too. The operations. So I never dealt with operations, but with the company I first started with, they had LCs. Once you built your book to a certain point, then you got an LC, which was like your ops
Mm-hmm.
team. And I think
Yes.
your point is perfect with that. It's kind of that, because I seen that all the time. It was some of the good brokers who were building these books had these teams of LCs. Once they passed it, once they landed it, it was like they never talked to that customer again. And I heard a few like LCs
Mm-hmm.
like trying to cover up for that, and it's like, no, you can't. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that person should be coming back talk, like, fix that issue. Like, you're going to bring more value when you're fixing when you're bringing value and you're servicing that account, and they know, that customer knows that you're not benefiting anything more. It's almost like in retail, when you acknowledge somebody, you got a room full of people and you acknowledge somebody in the back and just say, hey, I'll be with you shortly. It gives you another 5 or 10 minutes automatically. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't look at them right away, it's kind of that same thing. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't, like, for example, your story, if that guy whoever the initial sold you on the lead generation would have reached out and said, hey, so sorry this is going on, don't know why, whatever BS or whatever excuse they gave. But if they would have just done that, you might have not, would you agree, you might not be so mad at them to like be so against the tell
Yeah,
the
just
money.
just like even if they couldn't make it right,
Yeah,
let's
just
figure it out. Like
yeah,
like something like,
yeah,
hello, it was a lot of money. I'm
yeah,
not happy. You're causing huge amounts of issues for me, and it's like chirp, like zero
right,
crickets. And it's disgusting. And I think it's completely brutal. You see the owner posting all the time about, our remarkable company and all. It's bullshit. It's not. And
mm,
it's a shame, because
it is
it
a
could
shame.
be a really good product. But the
Mm.
people, here's one thing, and we're going over, and I don't really want to go over because we go over
Yeah,
every
yeah, I
day.
don't either.
But,
Yeah, so
as an employee of a company, or as somebody that flies a flag, that comes with a lot of responsibility. It really
mm,
does. And how you treat suppliers, how you treat customers impacts your company for years to come. Like, who were we? Oh, Jeff just went through this, where he
yeah,
had a salesperson that was just a salesperson that focused on the profit, not
yep.
on what Jeff focuses on. Jeff was in the middle of landing a massive deal, and the person said, oh, you're with Landstar. That, not interested. Zero perspective on who Jeff is and what Jeff can do for that company.
Yep.
It's a logo. The person that flew that logo with that person, I think, if I'm right, if I remember what Jeff said, like 5 years, 6, 10 years earlier,
Yeah.
has destroyed it for all of
Just
the really good people moving forward.
yes.
And
Great
it
point. Way to
happens
tie that in.
every day, all day long.
Yeah.
Every
Every
day,
day.
all day long. Be
Yeah.
something other than a salesperson. Do not
Uh,
treat anyone like a ticket, a number. Treat them for who they are, the human being. And you know what? demand that you get treated the same way, because
Yes.
no customer that you work with should bully you and push you around or anything, because you know what? There are people out there that respect what you do, and you are
Mm,
not just a necessary evil. You're a
yeah.
part of their overall function. You're a part of the functionality that keeps their company profitable, and you're part of the functionality that keeps your customer employed. Let's call a
Mhm.
spade a spade. It's a
Yeah.
two-way street. They keep you employed and you keep them employed. And you know, it's
We all help each other. We all have to help each other in the end.
yes,
We all have to
yes,
help each other in the end. We all make the world go round. Hey, I will cut it
absolutely.
there. But
Well, I just got
we have
3 comments to
comments.
do. So Jeff says data day. Can't wait. We're not even in peak season. Oh, yeah, yeah, brother. And I can't wait for Dean to talk about where we are in Shanghai. It's going to be cool. 5 out of 100
Yes.
people retire financially for your better. Nuts. You're absolutely right. Richard says when the flight is delayed and the pilot doesn't say a word, or yeah, just comment. Just say something. All right, DJ.
Yeah. I like that.
Did
Yes.
your quote that you picked, because you said you had a good one at the beginning, but we didn't even pick the topic yet. So I'm wondering if it's in
Yeah.
line,
Listen,
because
we'll
that'd be
see.
a
We'll
twofer
see.
today.
I think you'll like it. I think you'll like this. But anyway, so thank you everybody for joining us. Like you do daily, obviously Monday through Friday. Start your day right with us. Sales Chatter Live, 9 a.m. till 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching the replay, again, if you're on YouTube, hit the little bell and all that stuff to follow us, to make sure when we are live again next, and to see all of our videos. They are all stored there. We do replay these as well on LinkedIn if you guys are catching this on LinkedIn or you caught it late. Thank you to American Logistics Centurion Trucking for making this possible. People over profits. Looking for a new home in Canada, Canadian broker, reach out to Daman. Those guys will take care of you. And then finally, Dan, we got a great week. I can't wait to talk to Dean either. I am so excited. I've seen some posts. I'm waiting to really bring it up to him, but oh my goodness, yeah. Jeff, I
Lots
agree.
happening. Lots
A lot
happening.
is happening. A lot is happening. So yes, join us Wednesday. Don't miss out. Triple D Day. Join us the rest of the week. If you just want to start your day right with us, be high performers. You want to reach for that next level, do it here. Again, so this quote to take us out today is from Gandhi, and it is: "You find yourself when you lose yourself in the service of others."
Mm.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information.